Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Radhe 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 Jaya Narasimha Arati, Narasimha Arati, Narasimha Arati, Ajime Sadhuma Arati. Jaya Krishna Radhi, Krishna Radhi, Krishna Radhi, Jaya Krishna Radhi.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Mukunda Basu Goshadikaya Kiba Sandha
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya
whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose sharp-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding motor in fear of Mother Yashoda, and who was finally caught from behind by her, who ran after him with great speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and a necklace of pearls around his neck, which is worked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound with the ropes, but with his mother's true love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued in pure intimacy, and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar, hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, also you are able to give all kinds of benedictions. I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor for any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 courses of Bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours, as Bala Kubala in Vrindavan, may ever be manifested in my heart. For what use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Narasimha were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Damodarastakam ki
Jai.
Jagat Guru, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Shri Radha Golokananda Mandir ki
Jai.
Il est toujours fait un grand plaisir chaque soir en ensemble auspicieux de Kartik pour nous welcome aujourd'hui aussi, malgré qu'il y a plein de jours normaux, comme vous connaissez. Et c'est quelques jours qui restaient à partir de demain. Demain, c'est le 12 novembre. Donc, ça quelques jours qui restaient, ils considèrent encore plus auspicieux. Okay? Donc, demain, c'est le disappearance day de Srila Gaura Arati. Srila Gaura Arati disappearance day is tomorrow and will be fasting, full fast till noon. Et aussi, dans un contexte, demain, il y a un programme le matin, disappearance day of Srila Gaura Arati, morning programme de 10h30 à 1h. Bhajan, on a Bhajan, Katha, Pravachan, Pushpanjali, Arti. Invité Arti, une terminée vers 1h. Demain aussi, mon réserve, c'est un jour bien auspicieux. Demain, tomorrow is the first day of Bhishma Panchaka. C'est le jour que Bhishmadev Bhishma Pitama entame sur 5 derniers jours fasting pour les kids sur l'école. Donc, ça c'est 5 derniers jours de Kartik. Exceptionnellement, 2024, c'est-à-dire cette année-ci, Bhishma Panchaka, il faut baser que sur 4 jours. C'est-à-dire à partir de demain, terminé, Kanasnan, vendredi, le 15. Que 4 jours. Alors, ça c'est pour nos programmes de demain, et pas terminal. Demain, c'est aussi un jour très très auspicieux. Demain, c'est le deuxième Ekadasi pendant ce mois de Kartik. Deuxième Ekadasi, c'est Uttana, qui est aussi connu par Prabhudini Ekadasi. Donc, we'll be fasting, full fast for Srila Gaura Das Bhagavati, within noon, we will break the fast, et puis nous continuons normal fasting, we are fasting from grains. Donc, demain, nos programmes de Ekadasi, les whole night kirtan, le programme evening, as usual, à partir de 6 heures, Gopi Gita, pendant Tulasi Puja, Gaura Arati, Damodarastakam, et on a Prabhupada aussi, demain c'est His Grace, Raghunath Prabhu qui vous fait grâce. À partir de 9h onwards, whole night kirtan. Nous ne pouvons pas que kirtan, nous avons aussi drama, quiz, et movie on Srila Prabhupada. C'est tomorrow night. Okay? Early morning, aussi, avant Bhoga Arati demain, mercredi, okay? C'est 3h du matin. À partir de 3h du matin, on va aussi Japa chanting. Donc, anytime, we will join tomorrow evening, okay? Vous êtes capable de join early morning aussi, à partir de 3h, on va Japa chanting before Bhoga Arati. Vous êtes allé pour mercredi matin, right? The breakfast aussi, provision has been made for Prasadam breakfast. Un petit peu nos highlights pour nos programmes de ce jour demain, très très auspicieux. Donc, aujourd'hui, la classe est donnée par His Grace, Krishna Das Prabhu. Krishna Das Prabhu is already here. Okay, and briefly, Prabhu joined in 1980, dans les années 80. He's a disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. He was full-time de 85 à 90 Krishna Ram Temple. Then he joined Sri Radha Golokananda Temple, 1990 à 1995. He is involved in preaching, Harinam, and other services. Usually he also gives Bhagavatam classes once per week. He's also giving the Charita Chamrit class every Saturday. So it's a pleasure today, this special Kartik occasion, to welcome His Grace Krishna Das Prabhu for tonight praticing. Prabhu Jaya's with Garland, Prabhu. Yeah. Maharaj is saying Prabhu was very young when he joined, was only 15 years old. This will happen counting so, comment we terminer, the earlier we reach home, the better.
Jaya Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jaya Vallabha Jaya Radha Radha Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava ki, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki, Narasimha Arati ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Nitai Golokananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Nitai Golokananda. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Comme tous les soirs, Vandivoti distinguait un topic sur Krishna Katha pour parler. Alors, ce soir, nous allons parler un topic qui est appelé l'importance de écoute à Krishna Katha. Okay? Alors, l'importance d'écouter Krishna Katha, qui est le but d'écouter ça, qui est l'avantage que nous gagnons quand nous écoutons Krishna Katha. Alors, juste pour comment dire, faire un commencement auspicieux, nous allons prendre le chapitre 7, le premier verset du chapitre 7, pour Krishna Bhagavan, lui faire ressortir de sa concept de écouter à propos de Bhagavan. Ça verset-là, il donne une idée à propos de l'importance d'écouter à propos de Bhagavan. Qu'il y apporte nous ça? Et qui sont les résultats? Alors, nous lisons ça verset-là, nous gagnons une petite idée de comment dire, qui est arrivé quand nous appliquons à écouter Bhagavan sur la narration. Moi, tu poses sur les demander de quelqu'un qui ne pas comprendre ici, dans l'audience. Lève la main si quelqu'un ne pas comprendre. Non, bon. Ainsi là. Tout le monde comprend. Okay? Right. So, you see, so today's subject matter, the subject is the importance of hearing about the Lord. What is the purpose, what is the result we achieve by if we hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So this concept is actually introduced in Bhagavad Gita. This concept of hearing about God is there in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, several places, but I've chosen this place in the first verse of the 7th chapter, where this concept of hearing about God is given. Okay, so I'll read here. Maya ashaktabara partha yoga yunjan madashaya ashamshaya samakrama yatha vyasasi takshinu. Tradition, Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now here, O son of Rita, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So we can see here, the Lord is telling us what is the result of hearing about Him. When we hear about Krishna, we come to know Him. And by the way, this chapter is entitled Knowledge of the Absolute. So when we hear about Krishna, we come to know about Krishna. Okay. So in this, it is quite interesting when you read the purport that Srila Prabhupada has given in this verse. Prabhupada is referring to some 4 or 5 very beautiful verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam that actually sums up or gives us in a very beautiful way what is the result of hearing about Krishna. It takes this verse to introduce us to the garden of verses from Srimad Bhagavatam that particularly teach us about the importance or the result of hearing Krishna Katha. So, I'll read these verses Prabhupada has given. They are very famous verses. Actually, our senior Vaishnavas, when they give classes or when we join, they used to quote these verses very often. So I'll read it here. So this is from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Alright. So Srimvatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanam Ridi Antastuhi Avajani Vidunoti Surit Satam Nasta Prayeshu Avadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Tada Rajastama Bhava Kama Lobha Deyas Chaye Cheta Eter Anavidham Stitham Sadve Prashiddhati Evam Prashanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tat Pravijnanam Mukta Shangasya Jayate Vidyate Vidya Brandish Chijante Sharva Samshaya Chiyante Chashya Karmani Drishta Eva Manu Nishvari. So these verses, there's 5 verses. Arjuna Prabhu told us that Srila Prabhupada said that we should actually learn these verses and know them, if possible, by heart. And so, few of the very, very beautiful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, they actually capture, in a way, the purpose of hearing about Krishna. So I just read the Sanskrit now, I'll read the translation. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures, or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes free from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice or diminished. When those impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. This Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsaya shamagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness, one can understand the science of Krishna. So we see that these verses, very beautiful verses, a garden of verses, they actually explain to us what is the purpose of hearing about Krishna. So, in it just, we can see that it is saying here that when we're hearing about Krishna, it actually loosens and then unties this knot of material attachment from our heart, just by hearing about Krishna. So hearing about Krishna gives us knowledge about Krishna. Logically also, when we hear about a topic, so we come to know about that topic. So similarly, Prabhupada said life's goal is to know God. So how do we know God? So the very simple formula is that we have to hear about Him. So Bhagavatam explains that Rukmini Devi, she actually hasn't seen Krishna, but she became very attached to Krishna because she heard about Krishna. She heard from authorities, from authorized sources. She was a princess in the palace of her father, and devotees such as Narada Muni used to come and he used to speak about Krishna. So just by hearing about Krishna, she became attached to Krishna. So this process of hearing is actually very powerful. Actually, when I'm speaking about this pastime of Krishna, Rukmini Devi, who actually just heard about Krishna and she became attached to Krishna, we had when we were in Vrindavan under the aegis of Bhoga Arati. So one time he told us to to just sit for 5 minutes over students and meditate on an activity that we're serving Krishna in Vrindavan. We're serving Krishna. So there were about 24 students in that class. So everybody, then after 3-4 minutes, Prabhu asked each one of us to tell what did we actually manage to sing, how we wanted to serve Krishna in our meditation. So different devotees came up with their meditation, how some devotees said they were plucking flowers and they were making garlands for Krishna. Some people were making cooking for Krishna. One devotee came up with was cooking a halava. And then Sriram would say, well, tell me the ingredients that you put in the halava. So when he said the ingredients, there was no sugar in it. so then he came to me. So I said that, there's something impresses me as a young boy at the time. So when Rukmini Devi, because she was attracted to Krishna, so she wrote a letter to invite Krishna to marry her. So I said, I actually thought about that pastime to practice me, and I thought like that. So then Bhagavan Prabhu said, you get out of my class. He said, I'm speaking about I told you to tell me about something about your meditation on Krishna and Vrindavan. You speak about Dwarka, you don't like people. I can get out of my class. So anyway, this is something that was coming to our mind, that when we hear about Krishna, then actually it gives us materials and also encouragement, impetus to sing about Krishna. Okay? So this is the purpose. We have to, if we want to know about Krishna, then we have to hear about Him. That is what this 5 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam actually gave as a purpose. Just by hearing about Him, we'll come to know about Him. So it's a very, very simple process to just hear about Him. But sometimes it so happens because we have so much of a passion in us, we can't actually just sit and read. It's very important that we're able to sit and read about Krishna, to sit and read Bhagavad Gita, to sit and read Srimad Bhagavatam. So one thing that I actually was able to learn in my when I was studying material subject matter at the university, there we were taught that we have to, because there were several novels to read, part of the course. So our facilitator taught us that we have to read 100 pages per day. Because before that, when we take Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, sometimes we take one verse, one page, and then we start to feel sleepy. We just read one page, and sometimes we don't even want to read. But even materially speaking, to achieve materially, one was actually advised to read 100 pages per day. 100 pages per day. So now, just imagine that was to achieve a material goal which actually ends with our material journey. But what to speak of when we want to know about Krishna? How many pages should we be reading? It gave me some idea about what does reading bring to us, and how much time we should actually dedicate for reading, so that we can know about Krishna. So reading about Krishna, or rather hearing, actually when we hear, when we actually reading from Bhagavatam, is something that Prabhupada has spoken. What is spoken, that's put into writing, and when we're reading, actually we're hearing Prabhupada. Reading is hearing. So if we can read, we can have this Brahminical kind of inclination to just sit and read for half an hour or 1 hour, or read 2 hours. Some people can read 3 hours. Then you are a fortunate soul, and you can read about it. You just have to dovetail your reading about Krishna. So there's so many books about Krishna to read, and especially we have to start reading from the front page to the back page of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we still have Srimad Bhagavatam to read. The Srimad Bhagavatam of we have 18 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. My first reading of Srimad Bhagavatam was that it took me around 3.5 years to read the whole reading. I don't know, maybe for some devotees who take lesser. Then my second reading took me around 3 years to read Srimad Bhagavatam again. And then you have Chaitanya Charitamrita, which has 8 volumes. Okay, you can read all that Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then you can read the Nectar of Devotion, the Nectar of Instruction, and then you can read about the paths of knowledge. This book, Path of Perfection, rather, this book was previously called. Does anybody know this book, Path of Perfection? What was it called before? Yes, Maharaj?
This was my first book I read.
Yeah.
What was called before?
Yeah, before, yes. This book was called The Sword of Knowledge. The Sword of Knowledge, yeah. There's something interesting about this book. Bhakti Maharaj told us, he said, this book was actually, he compiled this book. He compiled this book. He said he went to different sources and he researched, and he collected the essays of Srila Prabhupada when he actually hasn't actually instituted our society, the Iskcon society. He was writing and preaching. When Prabhupada went to the West, sometimes reporters ask him, now you come to the West and now you're successful by your preaching that you're doing now. So Prabhupada said, no. I used to preach when I was a married man, and Prabhupada didn't say, some people thought that now he's become successful, now that he's come to America. So Prabhupada used to preach, and he used to write, there were papers that he used to write, his lectures. So Bhakti Maharaj, he told us personally, so this is how I know it. So he said he went and he collected these essays, and he compiled a book, which is called Sword of Knowledge. Sword of Knowledge. And then he gave this book to, he presented it to Srila Prabhupada. And Bhakti Maharaj said that Prabhupada was touched. He was touched by this gesture or this loving service of Bhakti Maharaj, and he said that Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. And then after that, he composed himself and he said that, this is the duty of the disciple to actually broadcast the message, the teachings of the spiritual master. Okay, so Bhakti Maharaj did that. He actually compiled this book, and now it is printed in our society by the BBT, and it is distributed widely. And we are given the opportunity to distribute this book to everybody. Okay, the soul of knowledge. So, the purpose, the point that I'm making is, Bhakti Maharaj took this book and he compiled it, and then now it's being given to everybody to read. So the purpose again is that we can, by hearing or by reading these books, we can come to know about Krishna. Okay, this is the purpose, to read so that we can know about Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada said, he said that Krishna Katha it's in two ways. It comes in two ways. Like Bhagavad Gita is words spoken by Krishna. So these are this is Bhagavad Gita, words spoken by Krishna. And in a general way, then Srimad Bhagavatam are words spoken about Krishna. Okay, so he said both are known as Krishna Katha, narrations about Krishna. Okay, both for Krishna. So there's a difference of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Though Bhagavad Gita is words spoken by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is words spoken about Krishna. Okay, so this is Krishna Katha. Okay, so we have to apply ourselves to hearing. By the way, when we're chanting also, when we're chanting, the formula is that when we're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we have chanted the 16 words, it should be that we have been able to hear the 16 words. It should be that we will be able to actually just hear the 16 words. So the purpose is to hear. So we have to put ourselves in such a condition that we can actually hear the purpose. So this topic of hearing about Krishna, what is the importance of hearing about Krishna, is something very, very important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was preaching, so he would tell his followers, he would say, Sthanes Tita Shutigatam Tanuvan. He said that, because among the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were different kinds of people. Let's say right now we see so many cars are going, so we have a political rally. So they also have certain purpose. They have to go through this election and they have to win and they have to administrate the country. Okay, so they are politicians. Prabhupada said Arjuna was also a politician. Okay. So the thing is, there's so many roles that people have to do in this material world. People have to. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, his way of preaching was that he said that you stay in the position that you are, okay. But then you have to, at the same time, you have to lend your ears to hearing Krishna Katha. Stana means you stay in your position. As a politician, they have to stay in the position as a politician. Man who's going already for office, he has to be a prime minister, that's fine. But then he has to hear about Krishna. Okay. Stana Stita Shruti Gatam. Man has to apply oneself to Shruti. Shruti meaning hearing about Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy is like that. You say you're going running for the office, or you're the high court judge, or you're a simple person who will sweep the street, or you're a mother, you're a father, you're a teacher, whoever you are, you may keep yourself in that position, but at the same time, you have to lend your ears to hearing Krishna Katha. Actually, Arjuna was advised in that way. Arjuna was a Kshatriya. He was an administrator. He was a king. So Krishna told him, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anushmara Yudhicha. He told him that, Arjuna, you didn't tell him to give up his fighting. He said, you continue fighting, but then you fight while remembering me. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anushmara Yudhicha. He didn't tell him to renounce his position as a king. So Arjuna had to still be the king, but at the same time, he has to be Krishna conscious. So how does he do that? This is the formula Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given. Sthanis tita shruti-gatam tanuvan manohi. You stay wherever you are in a position, but then you have to lend your ears to hearing Krishna Katha. Because this hearing about Krishna is so powerful that it actually can bring you to another level in your consciousness. It will purify your heart, it will purify your soul, and then although you're doing your duty as like any duty in the material world, like a minister, a prime minister, or a street sweeper, or a teacher, whoever you are, it can actually bring your heart to the highest level of meditation, which is meditation on Radha Krishna. So this is the purpose of hearing. The purpose of hearing is very, very powerful. Wherever we are, in whatever age we may be, whatever position we may be very busy, or we may be having a very hectic situation. But we should actually be loyal to the process of hearing, because that will keep us into how we call it, dominant, people call it, in the consciousness, in the consciousness which is called God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. So the hearing process is very, very powerful. It is said that when we also sleeping, all our senses may be actually inactive, but our ears still remains active. So the hearing is very, very a powerful sense, a very, very powerful sense. So if we apply ourselves to hearing instead of hearing just material subject matters, we apply ourselves to hearing Krishna Katha or spiritual subject matters by reading books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar Devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar Devotion. We read, then we may be anywhere, whatever job we may be doing, will come to actually serve the purpose of our soul. We'll be able to help our soul. We'll be able to purify our soul. So it is a very powerful process, hearing. It will bring us to the right destination. So Srimad Bhagavatam is actually full of verses that directly substantiate, endorse this purpose of hearing directly. Several verses Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam starts with there's 6 questions. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually, as Srimad Bhagavatam unfolds, the 6 questions that the sages ask from Sri Goswami. I was looking for my phone so that enough time is that. Okay. Yes. Okay. So the 6th question, one of the first questions that the sages ask of the 6 is, why did the Supreme Personality of Godhead take birth from the womb of Mother Devaki? Okay. So, and then the second one was, what are the different incarnations of Krishna and what are the different activities? Okay. And then the third one is, what is the essential part? Because there's so many literatures, Vedic literatures, literature writings. So which is the most essential part of those writing that teach us about the ultimate goal of life, which is self-realization? So these are there are 6, but it would go too long if I could all. But there's 3 of them. If you actually see these 3 questions, the purpose of these 3 questions is that the sages will then, what are they doing by the question? Is they allowing or prompting or making the speaker, Sutta Goswami, then speak about Krishna as a result of these questions. So the speaker will then narrate about Krishna. Okay? So this is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, to give us opportunity to hear about Krishna. Okay? Because these were the questions they asked. By the way, the fourth question, which is the sixth actually question, where did after Krishna left his own abode, where did the principles of religion take shelter? Okay, so the answer was Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a compilation of Krishna Katha. Okay. The fifth one, how does one get purified by chanting the holy names of Krishna? And the sixth one is there are different preceptors who teach about Krishna, about God consciousness. So who are those preceptors, those teachers, acharyas who actually teach about Krishna? So Srimad Bhagavatam, then when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, as the Srimad Bhagavatam unfolds, we can see, if you keep in mind the 6 questions, you can see actually Srimad Bhagavatam is then an answer to these 6 questions that the sages have asked. So if we analyze these 6 questions, we see the purpose again is to hear about Krishna. It gives us opportunity to hear about Krishna. So once we hear about Krishna, what happens? Here, therefore, by hearing about Krishna from his devotee in Krishna consciousness, one can understand the science of Krishna. Okay? So this is a result. The result is when we hear about Krishna, so we'll be able to understand about Krishna. So, because we don't have much time, I'll read a very beautiful verse by Kunti Devi in Srimad Bhagavatam. There's 2 verses, there's a few verses that I have noted down, but I'll read 2 verses that directly is connected with telling us what is the purpose of hearing about Krishna directly. So let me read about the beautiful verses. The Gopi Gita also is directly verses that connected to hearing about Krishna. But I'll read about Kunti Devi's prayers. Okay, Shinvanti Gayanti Viranti Avikshnashaha Shmaranti Nandanti Tare Hitam Janaha Ta Eva Pashyanti Achirena Tavakam Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padam Bhujam. So Kunti Devi said, O Krishna, those who constantly hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet. Certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. So here we see the purpose of hearing about Krishna. If we're hearing about Krishna, it actually stops the repetition of birth and death. This is what Kunti Devi is saying. And we know that the devotee is also reading, I guess, every day from Gopi Gita. So I'll read a translation of this verse of the purpose of hearing about Krishna. Tapakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Dunantiye Bhuridajanaha. The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities or the life and soul of those suffering in the material world. Okay. So when we're hearing about Krishna, this is the life and soul of the devotees. Just to hear these narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicates one's sinful reactions and bestows good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So we see that hearing is actually so purifying. It also serves the purpose of even purifying us from our sinful reactions as well. So we don't have to separately engage in other activities. Just by hearing, it will purify us of our sinful activities also. So hearing is something very, very powerful. And then we know that this process of hearing, Parikshit Maharaj, he just heard and he achieved perfection. So hearing is something very, very powerful and is a very important part of our process of Krishna consciousness. When we join the Krishna consciousness movement, we have to know that we have joined in a society where we'll be required to hear about Krishna. That will be, I won't say one occupation, that will be our preoccupation. That will be our preoccupation to hear about Krishna. Meaning, if we are engaged in different activities, as we are parents or we are different roles that we may have, we have to know when we have joined the Krishna consciousness movement that will be required to hear about Krishna. This is what we come to do in our society. And Prabhupada, when he created this society, he wanted to actually give facilities for people to come and join and hear about Krishna. The purpose of Iskcon is that. And to give people, we don't have any other purpose. We don't come here to make some kind of business or to do some, I don't know, what other kind of activities we may want to do. But rather, when we join the Krishna consciousness movement, our preoccupation is to apply ourselves to hear about Krishna. And then, when we heard adequately about Krishna, is to also share what we have heard to others. So this is our preoccupation in Krishna consciousness movement. We don't have any other purpose why we come to this society. Prabhupada created this society for this purpose, to hear about Krishna and then also to chant the holy name of Krishna, because that also gives us the opportunity to hear about Krishna. So if we want to actually make spiritual advancement, Prabhupada said that we have to apply ourselves sincerely to our chanting. The chanting actually can reveal to us everything else. It will also give us taste for even hearing even. Chanting is, when we're chanting and we're hearing, when Prabhupada went to the West, he just went there and he sat in the Tompkins Square Park underneath a tree and he just chanted Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and people just came and they joined him, and then from there his society just came up. It just sprung and everything came just from his chanting. They chanted and people came and heard, and they also chanted and everything came through this chanting, hearing and chanting about Krishna. So it's a very, very powerful process. When we join, this is what we had to do. So we just have to keep doing it. And it will actually bring the result. Okay? So Srila Prabhupada ki, Jaya, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Gaura Arati. So do you have any questions or comments? Yes, Maharaj? Thank you for giving company. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, a big round of applause for His Grace, Krishna Das Prabhu, for enlightening us about the importance of hearing, reading about the pastime of the Lord. Thank you, Prabhu.
Namaste Narasimha
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
शुरू कर रहे हैं।
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.